Weight loss. It needs to be fast and sustainable. Noom GLP-1 starts at just $149 and ships to your door in 7 days. Take it from Lauren, who lost 22 pounds on Noom.
If I come off of the GLP-1, it's not going to automatically make my weight yo-yo back.
$149 GLP-1s? Now that's Noom smart. Get started at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. Individual results may vary. Not all customers will medically qualify for prescription medications. Compounded medications are not reviewed by the FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where two reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Pre-Fixe, your weekly pop culture roundup.
Well, to quote Chris DeRosa via Borat, wowie wee wow. Quite a week we're having. I mean, where the Oscar and Razzie nominations are not what we're leading with, as previously stated, wowie wee wow.
Yeah, sure. Listen, as you called it, a pentagram of
it is a pentagram.
Insanity has happened this week.
It is a tentacled pentagram. We will deal with the Oscar and Razzie nominations and the Grammy Awards, which are just in a few days, but let's get these Fierce Five out of the way. We're not even going to fuck around here.
No.
The trailer has dropped for the Baldwins reality show on TLC.
Everyone, never forget that this was my pitch to fix her.
Yep. So if for the two of you who will be actual fans of this show, you're welcome from Chris DeRosa.
Thank you so much. Anyway,
wow.
To say that this podcast doesn't impact celebrities, you're wrong, because look what we have here. That's all I'm going to say.
I was pleasantly surprised to see that the Rust shooting was incorporated, not just in the trailer, but in the, well, we'll see if it's incorporated in the show. It's in the trailer.
It's going to be one scene in one episode.
Do you think that the 4 seconds they spoke about it in the trailer is the entirety that we'll hear about it?
1,000,000%. There's no doubt in my mind that that's not what it is.
It was a pro for me that the Rust shooting was in there. The con was that it somehow became about the Baldwins. Like they threw in a very carefully scripted, a son lost his mother, and we're trying to parent our way through that. Ooh, girl.
No.
You know who's also trying to parent their way through it? That kid's dad. Yeah. Did not like the second half of their carefully prepared moment in the trailer with that.
I'm like gleefully ready to watch this show and then just crucify them publicly for like the whole time that it's on. Yeah. It's going to, and they're asking for it, by the way, begging for it.
The thing is this reality show is Eladia Baldwin's. This is her apex. This is her life's fucking dream. Alec Baldwin, I swear this is true. I would throw myself on any sword for this. He would rather be working at 7-Eleven than doing this fucking show.
Correct.
There's absolutely they could give him whatever can line they need about like, I literally don't know what my life would be like if you weren't in it. Yeah, I know what it would be like. A lot less fucking chaotic and stupid. That's what it would be.
Oh God, I'm on adrenaline just watching the trailer. Like her very non-affected helium voice that she has. That's
what is this?
Even more annoying than her Spanish voice. I'm like, I'd rather listen to her say cucumber 9 million times than whatever the fuck this voice is that she's using.
Honest to God, like last time we saw her, she was Shakira. Now she's Jennifer Tilly. What the fuck, lady?
Not even, like worse than Jennifer. It's like a dog whistle. She's like, hi. Anyway. Hi. Anyway, so what are we going to do? It literally is like if you speed our voices up to like 9 million. That's like what it sounds like.
Let me also state, Alec Baldwin physically looks like he is about to explode at every moment. It's not even he's not obese or anything like that. He's a normal built human being. But he just looks like he's about to burst every second.
To quote Tiffany New York Pollard when she saw a recent photo of Pumpkin, she is a walking lymphedema. Like she said, she is full of pus. And that is like, he looks like the end of The Substance when the monster just goes crazy and sprays blood everywhere.
Monstro, oh my own.
Like
Tiffany New York Pollard, the poet laureate of fixing famous people. Thank you. She's our Shakespeare.
He looks so bad in it, and she is just performing. She's a stunt queen on another level in this trailer.
She has so many goals, though, to be honest with you. Like, talk about the hustle. She's Meghan Markle. Those two should do a reality show. Like Meghan Markle and Hilaria Baldwin in a cage match. This is what I want. This is what I crave.
She thinks that she's Meghan Markle. That's the big problem, and we're going to see all of that.
You know what? Meghan Markle thinks that she's Meghan Markle, too. That's also
correct. That's the problem.
Last thing about them, if Alec Baldwin's not getting his eye bags done, I ain't getting mine done. Sure. I've taken that off my surgery list. I'm looking at those bags. I'm like, are you leaving those on for a court case? Like, to look sympathetic? Get the knife on those, man. I know you have money.
No, he doesn't. That's why he's on TLC right now, the learning channel.
That poor man.
Also, let's not forget that days before this trailer drops, she puts out that she's going to write a memoir called, isn't it like Manual Not Included or something like that?
Yeah, that's Manual Not Included.
Which 9 billion people wrote to me saying, doesn't she mean Manuel Not Included? And I was like, she does, actually.
That's going to be the 8th kid.
Oh, God.
You know who did? My grandmother had 7 children also. You want to know what book she wrote? Nothing. She just did it.
Yeah.
She did it. You want to know what movie star was her husband? My grandfather. He was a conductor on the Long Island Railroad. That was his greatest role. She didn't write a book. She just did it.
I can't wait. I mean, I will be the absolute first person to buy this book and read it, like cover to cover, day one.
The best part of this trailer, other than Alex eye bags, I'm looking like he's going to explode. She's like, 7 children, 1 husband, and I'm screaming in my living room, 12 nannies, $14 million. Like, come on, stop it.
Oh, God. She's
bated breath.
Bated breath.
So much so that I will probably have the first episode memorized before we even record the first podcast.
Like every frame, like I'm going to be like doing her. I'm going to have a full impression of her whenever we watch it, because I'll have watched it 75 times.
Maybe let's get the transcript and do a Patreon episode where you and I are just Alec and Hilaria.
No, we need to do that. We absolutely need to do that.
Done. This morning I was listening to 1010 Wins at the gym, and they were talking about this reality show, and the anchor, who was not Linda Lopez, I might add, said Hilaria Baldwin. And I stopped what I was doing. I texted 1010 Wins. I was like, excuse me, it's pronounced Hilaria. Where are you from? Michigan, ma'am?
Yeah.
Hilaria. How dare you?
I mean, it is hilarious. People used to write on her Instagram all the time.
Make it racistly inappropriate like it's supposed to be pronounced. It's Hilaria. We move on. Speaking of someone who is of actual Latin descent, Jennifer Lopez stuns on the red carpet at Sundance as the Kiss of the Spider-Woman musical finally premieres. Does not yet have a distributor or release date. Reviews were mixed, but mostly positive for those who saw it.
Did you see that she put on her Instagram like a screenshot of the Daily Beasts, like not the New York Times, not, like Vanity Fair, not the Hollywood Reporter, but the Daily Beasts review of it, where it was like, Jennifer Lopez is incredible in this movie.
Oh, bless her. I hope she is.
I hope she is too, but it's just, she's like so desperately wants to be applauded for this role, which I get it, but like she's like hanging on by a thread, hoping that we all love it.
Jennifer Lopez could open a school or at least teach a class about walking a red carpet. Like, there's not a human being alive. I might even include Nicole Kidman in that.
Yes.
That there's not a human being alive who walks a rug like this lady. Like, she is. And I also saw very close-up HD interviews of her on the red carpet. This woman she's a gift from God. She is, not to just harp on physical appearance only. She's flawless. I know she's probably got a team of people holding her face back in knots in her wig, whatever. Good. She looks
great.
Beautiful at the premiere. She had a little spiderweb dress on.
And like body always has been banging. Like never once. She's never slipped. Like never once.
I hope it's good. It's tricky. That musical, the original movie was fantastic. It won several Oscars, including Best Actor. The musical was a little bit tricky. It's good, but it was never like, it's not like Broadway Pantheon. It was good because of the performances and Cheetah. So I'm curious to see how it translates to the to the big screen.
Her like Legs Avenue, like mobster Halloween costume was like, that gave me pause, to quote Fran Drescher. Like that gave me a lot of pause, but like and then there was a different shot of her and she looked incredible. And I was like, okay, this is not what I'm like. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the thing. She's playing a movie star in dream sequences only. Like her character does not interact with the other characters, only in a different dimension. It's almost a little hard to explain. It's still a beautiful story. I can't wait to see her in it.
I mean, we're running to please, if we can get a viewing, if we can get a screening where she shows up in New York, we're there, as you know.
Excited about it. Also, and I know you are as well, how good was the trailer for White Lotus season 3? I'm there. I'm in it.
I was always there. Even if it looked terrible, I was going to be there because I just love the show so much. But like when everyone there firing on every single cylinder possible.
And just Parker Posey filling the Jennifer Coolidge hilarity role is to me number one on the list of reasons to watch this.
Perfect pivoting since Jennifer Coolidge can't be in it because she's now deceased. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like she's perfect. Then what is her name? What's the one that's she's with Sam Rockwell?
Natasha, who was in season 1, and I can't think of her.
No,
I can't think
Natasha
of her
Rothwell. Natasha Rothwell, I'm excited for. But no, I'm talking about
returning as her season 1 character.
Yes.
Though, right? Yes.
But
which I'm so thrilled about.
Leslie Bibb, is that her name?
Yes.
I think she's so underrated. I think everything.
And Carrie Coon as well.
Yes.
Carrie Coon's another fierce queen.
Are you kidding me?
This is great.
Yeah, the three of them together, I'm like so excited. Then Walter Goggins, I'm like and then the girl that was in Sex Education, titillated.
I love that one of the group of it's like a middle-aged white lady girls trip is just like, which seems sort of like eye rolly because we already have 100 shows that are like that. I'm assuming in the Mike White universe, they're going to take that trope and like turn it on its asshole. Yes. And I can't wait.
No,
I
cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Natalia Grace. Now, I did not. We are huge fans of the Natalia Grace.
We sure are.
Universe. We are avid followers. Had absolutely no idea that Hulu has behind our backs been filming a scripted series. Of course, it makes sense. We knew it was coming. I didn't know that it was already underway. Friend of the pod, Natalie Katona, texted us a few days ago on Monday, and we were gobsmacked. I mean, Ellen Pompeo is playing the first adoptive mother. Like,
what a role. Like, one, what a role. And two, like for her being like, I'm also nervous if I can play a character other than like Meredith Grey in all the interviews. Like, I'm like perfect because we're all tuning in just to see if she's like actually a good actor at all. Or, you know what I mean? Since she's be protected by Grey's Anatomy for 9,000 years. I'm so excited. Cannot wait.
It's going to be, I hope it's as good as
terrible.
But you know what wasn't terrible and I thought would be was the Gypsy Rose Blanchard one, also on the Act with Patricia Arquette. And that ended up not being terrible. I wonder if this will be the same, where it actually sort of makes it make a little sense, because nothing about the story makes sense.
Can I also tell you that Kate Casey recently interviewed the boil that fell off of Nancy Grace,
that crazy bitch from the fucking documentary.
And she said she's hilarious and amazing and wants her to come on this show.
on Fixing Famous People?
Yes.
Wow.
Because you guys should have her on and go, we have eviscerated her in every single way possible.
Well, yeah, we have openly mocked her. We called her a tumor on Nancy Grace's ass, and now we're going to put her on the show.
If people want to hear Run, Do Not Walk to Reality Life with Kate Casey, she just interviewed her. She said she was incredible.
All right. I mean, I'm sold. I'll trust Kate Casey's opinion about anything, but sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Also, I have to believe we're not the first people to mock that woman. So she's probably just like, whatever, faggots. I'll say, let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Another reason I was surprised about this series was that I thought for sure after all of Chris's promotion that I would have been offered the role of Mr. Barnett, the first adopted father. And it was just not given to me. Wasn't even, no one called my people.
You're too skinny now. You'd have to fatten up for the role, and you're not going to do that. I know you're not.
That just won't happen.
There we go.
Nope. I won't even eat a fourth meal at this point. Are you kidding? Summer's coming. It's almost February, for God's sake.
Oh, brother.
Oh, my word. Gaga, as in Lady Gaga. She will be performing at the Grammys on Sunday. A new single, not Disease, but her next album, Mayhem, comes out on March 7th. I love all these ominous one-word titles.
Love it.
Mayhem, Disease. Love every bit of it.
Love it.
I love it.
I listened to Disease twice
Also,
today.
she was told in the fall by Chris DeRosa. She was told by Chris DeRosa in the fall to record a new album, and she, like the Baldwins, listens to Chris.
I know, but the rollout of now she needs to hit it. The rollout of the album needs to be big. Do you know what I mean? Like, she needs to give us the singles and the lead up to the whole album, which I don't think she's going to do. She's going to give us one more song and then the album's going to come out.
I don't know. She seems to be following the plan from her second album, because the second album was when
The Fame Monster.
she promoted by appearing in that egg at the Grammy Awards. So the Grammys is a good kickoff for her.
That
I
was
think.
yeah, sure. It was her third album, but yes.
A third? Okay.
Yeah.
What was the second one? Fame Monster.
Then the Fame Monster. And then
I always
Born
forget
This
that those
Way.
are two separate albums.
They're basically the same thing, but they really, like, she came out the Fame Monster, like, because she got successful. She was like, let me put out actual good music now. And, you know.
And Fame Monster had all the tracks that the Fame had, right? With some extras.
Yes,
okay.
correct. Yeah.
So yeah, Born This Way, she sang the night when the egg went down the runway at the Grammy. So hopefully this will have a similar.
Yeah, what will she do? Like, I weirdly think she's going to have like a twin of herself. Because there's a lot of stuff in the marketing of the new album that's like two of her faces. And in the video for Disease, she's like standing on top of like one of her old, like there's like her standing on top of herself, and like they're like battling each other. Maybe. And I feel like it's going to be her and then like someone that looks exactly like her in the same outfit next to her, which would be fucking cool.
Maybe she'll keep the egg theme from years ago and just come down like
the substance. she'll just like
she'll
just have someone rip out of her body. And
she'll have like a giant stuffed chicken that she will crawl out of, like pre-egg.
Like she is the egg and she'll fall out like an ooze. Yeah.
Did we cover all five? The Baldwins, J-Lo, Natalia Grace, White Lotus, and Gaga. Yeah, that was all in one day. That was all on a very manic January Monday.
And what is, like, I'm assuming
we finally have reached the end of January, which is another issue, because I get that it's tied for the longest month, but Jesus, Francesca, was this the longest January in fucking history?
It was.
I feel like Christmas was 3 years ago. It's been a lot. There's been a lot going on. Now, this Pop Culture podcast can just start talking about the Oscar nominations, which we should have led with, but there's too much important stuff happening.
Way too much.
Amelia Grace leads with Amelia Grace. Who is that?
Amelia
a trans
Grace.
version of Natalia Grace? A trans on the brain. Amelia Perez leads with 13 nominations. There were no real surprises, like giant ones. Angelina was not nominated for Best Actress for Maria. A lot of people were kind of happy about that.
Neither was Pamela Anderson.
Pam Anderson, that was a little disappointing for The Last Showgirl. Was not nominated. Jonathan Bailey not nominated for Wicked, but he wasn't really expected.
He does way more in the second part.
His character.
Yeah, like he does. Like he has more to do in the second part.
Got it. So maybe he'll get nominated. So your 10 nominees for Best Picture are, and these are in order of likely to win according to The Hollywood Reporter only. Amelia Perez, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Wicked, Anora, The Substance, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, and I'm Still Here. I have several left to see.
The fact that Dune Part 2 is on that list is very upsetting to me.
Why? Did you not like it?
It was like good. It was way better than the first one, but it just was not, to me, anywhere near. Like, it should not be in this category.
Huh. I liked it. Yeah, I don't know that I would put it in my 10, but there's nothing in there that I'm thinking, why the hell is it there?
Sure.
There's also some that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, same.
I finally did see Amelia Perez, and I was prepared to not like it, because the truth is that of these 10 films, for whatever reason, you know, the critic scores are matching up with the audience scores pretty well, but the critic scores gave Amelia Perez a 76%, and the audience score for Amelia Perez is 33%, which is very weird, because like audiences not liking it as much, or maybe it's not what they're expecting, or I don't know.
First of all, before we go any further, I just simply must perform a little musical number called
Please
Man
do.
to Woman, Woman to Man, Penis to Vagina. I just needed to do that. Okay, moving on.
That number, by the way, if you haven't seen the movie, the lyrics that Chris just sang are actually in the movie. And
I want
that
to talk
number,
to you.
That needs to come out. If I'm editing that movie, if I'm noting it, that whole number comes out. It's so unnecessary.
I need to talk to you about sex change operation.
It's so
and then the guy
weird.
goes, I see, man to woman.
It's insane. The whole scene is insane.
When it was on the TV, Hassan and I were like in absolute shock and looked at each other. We're like, what on earth is happening?
There are really good aspects to it. I don't know why I was going to go in thinking, because I know a lot of people who did not like it, or, there's always backlash against whatever number one is. So I tried to take it with a grain of salt. It's good. There's like aspects of the trans experience I haven't seen in other movies that I thought was really interesting.
Sure. And then there were parts of it that I was like, did anyone talk to someone that was trans at all during this?
I don't know. Well, I mean, the lead actress is trans.
Yes,
of course, in real life.
Yes.
What they didn't do was talk. The French director did not talk to anyone about Mexico or setting the film in Mexico. Person. No. And he's been like making very bold statements about it. It's just like, I just didn't need to. I said it in Mexico. It wasn't about Mexico. It was about the people. You're like, well,
now
it kind of had to be about Mexico too, but sure.
And you have this like Dia de los Muertos, like a funeral at the end of it. That's like, what the fuck is this? Like
inaccurate is what it is. Yeah.
Now, are you aware that some Mexican filmmaker started a Kickstarter to make a short film version?
Yes.
About that is like a French film about a trans French person in the vein of Emilia Perez. And then so many people donated to the Kickstarter that they had to actually make it. And it is called Johann Sacre Bleu.
And is the whole thing shot in Mexico?
It is shot in Mexico for France. And apparently, I have not watched it yet, but I'm going to watch it today. And it is 20 minutes long. And it's apparently like the most offensive, like, one of the lyrics is, I smell like cheese, but I still smell better than myself, or something like that.
Oh, my word.
So mean.
Will you link me to that? I definitely want to watch it.
I want to watch it because that is the funniest shit ever.
How long is it?
20-some minutes. And it's on
have
YouTube.
You seen The Brutalist yet?
No, I don't have 4 spare hours to set aside. Sadly.
It is 215 minutes long. I will say that it went by much quicker than that, and that the performances are great. Also, a movie I didn't know too much about. I knew that it was Holocaust adjacent. I won't say anything more other than this movie takes twists, and you're like, excuse me?
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say nothing more. It's worth the watch. And if it wins, I'll stand up and clap. There's a lot of good movies in there. Nora's great. The Substance is great.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Wicked, obviously.
A listener wrote in to me, a very high-powered listener, whose name I will not reveal in this podcast, to say that he agrees with you about Conclave being a little bit snoozy.
No,
he doesn't understand why it's there.
Yeah. Goodbye, people.
And then my friend Kelly, whose name I will say on this podcast, because I think she'll find it thrilling. She texted me that Conclave is basically the Real Housewives of Vatican City.
100%. Which, again, should be right up my alley, and yet it isn't, you know?
Yeah. And so that's that. So do we think that we're going to see Demi Moore? She's tipped to win Best Actress right now. And right now, Best Actress between Timothée Chalamet and Adrian Brody. Kieran Culkin seems to be in the lead for supporting actor for A Real Pain. And Zoe Saldana, I think has supporting actress locked up for Emilia Perez, which is funny because much like Hannibal Lecter, which I shouldn't be comparing this trans woman to Hannibal Lecter, but the lead in the movie is so powerful, even though they don't have a ton of screen time, that this role, Emilia Perez, is a supporting actor in the movie. And Zoe Saldana is really the lead.
Yeah, I agree.
Me. I mean, she's in almost every scene.
I agree.
But for the nominations, they're reversed, where Zoe is nominated for supporting and Carla Sofia Gascon, who plays Emilia, is nominated for lead.
And I also think there are some of the songs in Emilia Perez that I really liked. Like the first one where she's like a lawyer and she's like on the street with the people. That got me into the movie because I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, what is this? She's dancing and she has like a little business suit on and she's doing this song and it was really cool. And the one where she dances at that foundation where she's up on
El Mal. I think that's nominated for an Oscar for Best Song.
And it was good. And I was like, she's like, this is fun. But then of course we have Penis to Vagina, which is like its own thing.
You'll never be over that.
No, it's just so me and Rebecca text it to each other every day. And people are furious that it beat Wicked for Best Musical. like furious, like at the Golden Globes.
Oh, at the Golden Globes for comedy musical. Yeah.
Because someone played that song, like the penis to vagina song, and they were like, let's just like drink in the lyrics really quick of this. And it's like so bad. And they're like, here's a better way to sing this. And then they did it. And it was like TikTok and Instagram are like ripe with people being like, here's like technically why this song is terrible. And that should never have won against Wicked, which every single song is absolutely perfect.
Well, you know what is also strange too? Like the art of campaigning during awards season really is like its own separate art form, because throughout, you know, we follow this stuff pretty closely, so we always know like what names are being bandied about.
Sure.
But John Chu, who directed Wicked, which was a massive undertaking with less CGI than films of that ilk would require, has never even been in the mix to be nominated. And subsequently, he was not. But it is a little bit weird that
I don't like
the guy who directed A Complete Unknown, James Mangold, which I haven't seen yet, but I don't know how hard that movie was to direct as compared to Wicked, in which John Chu created a planet. Like, of its own.
I don't like
Very
it.
strange.
And I don't like that Wicked's cinematography didn't get nominated. I don't think it did, right?
It did not. Cinematography.
I don't like that. Don't like that at all.
Weird, right? Cinematography.
I thought the cinematography was incredible.
It's a beautiful movie. Who was nominated? The Brutalist deserved it. Emilia Perez. Okay.
Sure.
Dune Part 2, expected.
Meh.
Nosferatu. And then Maria. There's Angelina's revenge.
Oh, brother.
She got Wicked knocked out of the...
I don't. I mean,
out
like,
of the cinematography
does
race.
Wicked need to win 9 million Oscars? No, it's like it's like an absolute success and loved by the whole world. So like, does it need to win an Oscar? No, it doesn't. But it's kind of fucked up. I don't like that.
Let's move on to the Razzie Awards, which were also announced last week.
I know none of these, so you're going to surprise me with every single one.
Well, I can tell you that Joker Folie à Deux led the awards nominations.
Oh, and like, to think that they thought that was going to be like it didn't get one nomination, not even for any of the songs.
No, they wouldn't.
Right?
They wouldn't. The Academy wouldn't shame themselves. No, absolutely not. It received 7 Razzie nominations. The other films that received 6 nominations were Borderlands, Madam Web, Megalopolis,
yeah,
and
whatever that was.
Reagan, as in Ronald Reagan. So those are the...
There was a... Oh, brother.
Oh, yes, with one half of Raid, Dennis Quaid playing Ronald Reagan.
Wait, when he was eating shrimp in the substance, it made me so sick.
That's one of the cringiest scenes in the
more
movie.
than when like a breast comes out of an orifice and falls onto a stage. I was more disgusted by Dennis Quaid eating in the substance than I was about anything else.
Well, Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix are both nominated for Worst Actor and Actress for Folie à Deux.
Amazing.
Surprising no one, and we love her. We didn't love the movie, but Jennifer Lopez is nominated for Atlas at the Razzies.
She should win and go. She should win and go.
Dakota Johnson's also nominated for Madam Web. And for you, I don't want you to bust a vein here, but Cate Blanchett's nominated for Worst Actress for a movie called Borderlands, or perhaps it's pronounced Borderlands. But
I mean, I've never heard of this movie, so she maybe.
Never heard of it.
Maybe.
She probably knew it was bad and didn't even promote it.
Yeah, well, no, that's exactly. Because like, go watch Disclaimer for like 2 minutes and like, you'll rethink.
Unfrosted, that Jerry Seinfeld faux pop tart.
Like, what even was that?
Whatever, that got a bunch of nominations as well. So it was also like at points funny and also at points unwatchable. It was very weird.
Like, no, thank you.
Thank you all for the positive feedback last week, where we did a special Patreon episode with an attorney at law talking about the Lively Baldoni shenanigan. We will do another one coming up, but just 2 days ago, also at the end of that Manic Monday, we get a court date. It'll be March 2026 when a New York court will hear the Lively Baldoni arguments for the first time.
Well, we're
going to go through this fucking bullshit for 14 months, girl.
Guess what? They filed so many suits against each other. They're like, well, where do we even begin? Now we have to do, you know what I mean? They made it this way.
It was, Justin Baldoni launched some evidence website to get the public on his side. Leaked footage comes out and they're both claiming victory because they're both trying to spin it. Blake issues a gag order. Justin refuses it. Look, we're not going to equate what Diddy has done with these two, but it's like there's more court cases involving these two queens than there is Diddy at this point.
No, it's really sad and like not. It's so losery to me. Do you know what I mean? That they just keep putting out stuff. It's like, no, just like let it die down and we would kind of move on from this. Like,
is someone going to get tired of this? Like, is one of them going to be like, I'm running out of money? Not you, bitch. I mean, one of them. Like, is someone going to get tired of it? I also don't believe you are going to get tired of it.
I'm not.
I think we're just going to become, I'm going to turn on MSNBC one morning and you're going to be talking to Joy Reid about it. I'll be like, how does this faggot not call me and tell me he's going to be on MSNBC?
I'll be like, well, in my report.
You're going to be that Nancy Grace tumor, but of this. That's it.
If only. Yeah, it's really bad. The footage, this is my justice website that he's putting up. Like, guys, stop.
Yeah.
They're both ruining it for themselves. Like, we can't. So many more people than I thought would are coming around to like, oh, they're both fucking bonkers. Which like is not a popular opinion that anyone ever has of like, they're neither of these people are right. We desperately always want to have a good person and a bad person. But weirdly, for once, people are like, oh, they're just both turds.
It's becoming more obvious with each passing day / each passing
filing
that's filed. That these are just two people that never should have worked together, period, and had a really bad experience, and they're just hurling shit at each other. Like, it's like each day someone seems more like they have the upper hand than the other one. Like every time new information comes out, you're like, oh, I guess she's more in the wrong instead of him. But like you said, like if you read through all the documents, it's sort of hard to definitively say this person's wrong. And this is not like we believe all women when they say harassment or assault and all that. This is much more convoluted than just that. It's a mess. It's truly a textbook definition of mess.
I didn't tell you this. I have a mole.
You have a mole?
Dominic?
You mean on your skin that we're getting biopsied? Or you know someone in the Baldoni camp? Someone
came, a longtime listener, came to me and said, I met someone the other night that used to work on Gossip Girl. Again, this is third-hand knowledge. And allegedly, I don't have this confirmed. I did not speak to this person. I'm getting it from a source. But they said that Blake Lively, even back then not famous, was a complete brat in every way, would throw temper tantrums if she didn't get her way. One time they were doing an overnight shoot. Like it was like a nighttime shoot. So it's like 2:00 in the morning while they're shooting. She shows up late. She doesn't want to wear the outfit that they want her to wear, which like the whole point of the show was fashion and outfits and like all them showing up in these cool, like very Sex and the City-esque of like the whole point of the show is like for them to be in these cool outfits. Threw a temper tantrum, wouldn't come out. The crew was waiting like hours while she figured out what she wanted to wear. Meanwhile, it's like a 2-minute scene. Made the crew wait hours long. And then finally like decided on something. Like the wardrobe supervisor is like in bed somewhere and they're like, the assistants are running crazy trying to get her to like, would throw a tantrum. And even then was like a complete nutter brat.
Well,
so,
I mean, it tracks with literally anything anyone has said about her publicly, to be honest with you. It's not, that person's in pretty prolific company. Let me ask you this question. How much tan have I lost? Like, should I go tanning?
No. You shouldn't.
What are that's your thought? Just no to a tanning booth? Like not even like a weekly low impact tan?
My mom still goes tanning sometimes and I'm like, are you serious?
My folks do too once on occasion. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think you're fine. I also have like lights that are like warm.
No, for sure. I'm not even comparing it to you. I'm like, just in general, I've been looking at myself in the mirror, which Dominic, I spend a good part of the day doing, if I'm being honest.
You are
sometimes nude, sometimes clothed.
You are white. And it's winter, so it is what it is.
No, I don't want to change my race. I just want to like look. I don't know. I think I need a base for the summer.
In summer, like I'm way tanner, and then in the winter when it's on, and I like put our arms like next to each other. I'm like, wow, we really are like way different.
Because you get color and his sun stays the same.
No, because I have no color in the winter. I'm like so pale, and then he's his same color.
And I have to tell you something else, which is not on our list. And I feel like I should tell you, and I debated whether or not to tell you on the podcast, but I'm going to tell you because it's going to be something that's ongoing.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I am in the early stages of starting a tattoo journey, a tattoo chapter of my life.
Adding tattoos or eliminating tattoos?
Well, I only have one tattoo. When I tell you you've seen it, it is the most hideous rendition of the Tasmanian devil, and it is on my back, and I forget it's there until someone is behind me and reminds me, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But when they remind me, I'm always like, well, there goes my boner. I cannot, like, when I remember it's there, like, I want to hang myself.
Similar to, like, remember when everyone was getting, like, Superman tattoos? The Superman-esque, or the barbed wire, like, around the bicep. It in that realm.
So ugly.
I like it, Dominic.
You fucking don't.
It brings me back to, like, another time.
You do not like that. No one likes that tattoo.
No, you should get it removed. You should get it removed.
No one ever says, I like your tattoo. When they see it, they say, oh, you have a tattoo. And I'm like, that's just like saying she's got a pretty face. Don't dare say you just like the tattoo.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of torn with, do I get it removed first? Which is my fun way of saying, listeners, if you own a tattoo removal place or have a good recommendation, please let me know. Because I did some research on that, and that's a little more expensive than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Removing a tattoo.
You have to, like, laser it, and then I think you have to, like, go
10
back
times for thousands of dollars?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not simple.
I'll fucking take care of this with a Brillo pad. I don't give a shit. $3,000. This thing's like 2 square inches.
You're like, I'll just cut my skin off.
But I'm undecided about where the tattoos are going to go. Most of the thoughts are about, like, a half sleeve or a sleeve or
Dominic,
something.
don't do this.
But you need the details. Now, I was prepared for you to react like that, but we'll need to offline about what's going to be in the sleeve. It's not going to look like a shirt sleeve. It's going to be various fun things that I would weave together. I'm in the process of auditioning tattoo artists. I wish you all could see the look on Chris's face.
They will whenever you put this on Instagram. Oh, Dominic.
What if I tattooed someone's actual face just onto mine? What if I lived the rest of my life as Nicole Kidman?
Okay, I'm receiving this.
We'll offline about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a full Patreon.
Don't love it.
I
don't love it is all I'm going to say.
Let's move on with some more news because we have to get out of here in a minute so we can fix Kelly Rowland. On the upcoming a la carte, for those of you Patreonettes, or I know you hate when I call them that, or Apple subscribers, Spidey, meaning Heidi and Spencer, they're suing Los Angeles. Billy Ray Cyrus's son goes on Instagram and just puts him on
that thing I
full
said,
blast.
Like, devastating.
It's insane, and we will cover that. Chris Brown and Diddy have both separately filed defamation suits against people. Boys, you have bigger problems.
Yeah.
Stop clogging up the courts.
Yeah.
And we will also talk about Camila Cabello performing to a near empty room on tour. Is this fact or fiction?
She's on the list, by the way. No one will touch her because
she's going to get fixed. Why is no one fixing her?
She's just like a loser, and we'll talk about it.
Did you see Duck Dynasty is coming back?
No, what?
They've revived it. Yes, this is a whole...
brother!
Look, without taking sides, there's a whole wave of right-wing programming that's coming back. Roseanne, we are weeks away from telling you that she's coming back to television with a new series. She's shooting a pilot for a new series about a family that saves America with guns.
Great.
That's literally the tagline.
That's great.
So that's where we are in history. There's other stuff happening on the a la carte as well. Some fun stuff, including Chris's arch nemesis, Howie Mandel, under fire for having Bill Burr on his podcast and surprising Bill Burr with Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. Because apparently there's a rumor that Bill Burr and Billy Corgan are half brothers because Bill Burr's father.
What is this, Maury?
I don't know, who Bill Burr describes as a complete piece of shit. He's like, and Bill Burr was pissed.
Yeah, I would Howie be Mandel. Too. Oh, brother.
We'll talk about that. But we'll close the regular show today with the important announcement. Cardi B's always good for a headline.
100%.
Like, she just delivers. Cardi B got her butt crack pierced.
No.
And you're like, how does someone do that?
What does that
Just
mean?
Google it. She got like a gauge. It's right in the top. It's in her butt crack. Her butt crack is pierced.
Okay, Cardi B shares photo of new butt crack piercing. Hold on, I want to see this.
So if you want to complain about my getting tattoos, I could take it that far.
Wait, I kind of like it.
You like the butt
It's
crack
ridiculous, but there's something about it that I'm like, that's funny.
I feel betrayed by you.
Okay.
I'm getting an eye roll over wanting tattoos.
You want me
this
to
woman tattooed, get a piercing on her butt crack, and you're a fan of
But
that.
do you want me to have respect for you, or do you want me to treat you like I treat Cardi B?
I don't care about respect. No. From anyone.
Oh, God.
Speaking of respect, also in the a la carte, we're going to talk about all these celebrities who performed at the inauguration, who's apologizing for it, and who, like, people like Jewel, and people who are saying, live your own fucking life, like Snoop Dogg.
Oh, brother.
Maybe we'll talk about Lauren Sanchez's inauguration tits. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Probably not.
Now we're going to lead with that.
We've beat up on her too much. Anyway.
We love you. And we love Kelly Rowland. We're quote unquote fixing her out of love today. And the solutions we have come up with to make her star shine even brighter are, dare I say, quite impressive.
No matter what I do, all I think about is you. Even when I'm with my boo, I'm crazy over you. Great song. Anyway, bye.
Vital messages up next.
Dominick, our next guest, not only has he just launched a new podcast called Good Judys that everyone should go download, and not only have I appeared on his podcast Dumpster Dive talking about the best Real Housewives trips of all time, but he also ran the New York Marathon behind two people that we talk about all the time on this podcast.
Do not
and those
say
two
it.
people
Don't.
being
No.
Lutelius
No.
TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. It is Tom Hamlett. Thank you for being here.
I definitely think I beat them. I'm pretty sure.
I think you
them.
did. Oh, I'm sure
I
you
ran
did.
much faster than them. No shade. Well, didn't he fall out?
Something happened. I screamed his name, Lutelius, and he didn't look. So I don't know.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I tried to get his attention, but
Well,
and you, I never even
congratulations on
saw
all
you.
of your. I mean, obviously, congratulations on all of your podcast success, but breathing the Lutelius Robach air for what I assume was at least 2.5 hours, like you were literally, whatever energy he was giving off, you were inhaling for a great deal of time, and you lived to tell the tale, basically.
I know, and I'm different. I look different. I feel different. I'm a different man.
Do you feel
God.
like you could drink
Hilarious.
14 cocktails in a day and still function at work without anyone knowing?
Yeah, well, that was me before. No, I'm kidding.
He learned it from you.
Oh God.
Oh, my
well,
word.
Tom, tell us a little bit about Good Judys really quickly. I know it just launched recently, so tell us a little bit.
Oh my
about
gosh, we launched last week. So Good Judys is a podcast I just launched with two of my best friends, Dan Rosales and Bradley Gibson. We all went to college together for musical theater. They still are in that realm. I am now a just corporate professional that does this on the side.
Period.
Period. Okay. Yeah, we were just getting together, gabbing about, it's just like best friends gabbing about the nonsense we've gotten into in our lives, and also chatting with celebrities and other people in the LGBTQIA plus media space. So yeah, just launched, and we will start having guests here in the new year. So stay tuned on that.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We are very excited. And then I have Dumpster Dive as well, which I just talk shit about reality TV on. So if you want a little more unfiltered, me just bitching about the new cast of Roni, like that's where you're going to find that.
Copy that. But we're not here to talk about the cast of Real Housewives of New York today. We are not. We are here to talk about Dominick. Why don't you take it away? Actually, I don't know why I'm doing.
We're not here to talk about those hangers on. We're here to talk about a much more well-renowned hanger on. Oh, Kelly, I'm so sorry. It was just too easy. It was
That was a genius transition, Dominick. I have to just give you props for that.
I didn't mean for it to sound so cunty, because this is someone beloved for us. And many times on this show, we try to fix people who we just feel like aren't actually famous enough, and we just need to point them in the right direction. This is a fierce force of nature, actually, specifically with the stuff that's been going on through the last year, which we will cover. We are speaking, of course, of singing sensation and former member of Destiny's Child. Heard of them? Ms. Kelly Rowland is who we'll be fixing today. Now, before we take too deep of a dive, at the beginning of every broadcast, we play the middle name game, where I will ask our guest and Christopher their best guess for the middle name of the person that we are fixing. Tom and Chris, do you already know Kelly Rowland's middle name? Don't lie, because I'll know.
Of course I don't.
Okay.
No, I do not actually.
Great. So then that begs the question, what is Kelly Rowland's middle name? I will give you this small basket of information. Kelly and Rowland are her legal first and last names. First name actually being Calendria, if we want to get technical. She was born.
Wow.
You
I didn't know that.
that?
I didn't know that.
Oh,
No,
Calendria.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Love
Kendria,
that.
I knew.
She's born February 11th, 1981 in Atlanta. She is an Aquarius. And that's all you're getting. She's 43 years of age.
Okay, my first instinct was Renee, but then I thought, and then I let my mind go, and I thought Pamela because of Pamela Rowland, which is a designer that I have shot the New York Fashion Week fashion show with the old OG Real Housewives of New York like 16 times. So I think that I'm, as much as I wanted to say that it's Pamela, I'm gonna guess Renee.
And I don't know. Like, I can't even think of like an educated one. So I'm just going to kind of go with Michelle, because how genius would that be if her middle name was Michelle?
God.
Very genius. Very, very genius is what that would be, actually, right. Thomas.
Great.
It is not Michelle for sure. However, it's not Renee, but it is what I believe. I don't know if it's pronounced Trine or Trine, because it's Trene. Trine.
So it kind of is like Renee.
4 of the 5 letters.
Yeah, it like is basically Renee, but it's not. Okay.
Like there's no accent, but really it's spelled like Irene, but you've replaced the I with a T. So it's just Calendria Trine Rowland.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't think you can get the win on this until we get some sort of confirmation. There's no accent aigu on that final E, so I think it's just Trine.
It's not Renee, is all. I know that.
No, but when you said Renee, I looked at it and I thought Trine, and I was like, will this be a half point? Now, the reason that Kelly Rowland is on our radar this year more than ever is because she's been popping up in the most like unlikely scenarios. Like we obviously, and we will discuss, she was in Destiny's Child. She delivered 2 fantastic turn of the century solo albums, which as I'm researching them today were much more impactful and had many more hits than I think any of us even remember. I mean, were it not for the shadow of Destiny's Child, she, I think, would have been a much bigger solo star. But this year, why we feel like we need to just point her in the right direction is, of course, her near physical altercation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't even say it. You can't even say it.
Her near physical altercation with the cunt of Khan, that security guard on the red carpet stairs.
Yes. And we as a society,
okay?
Yeah, we as a society were like, how dare you treat Calendria Trine Rowland this way?
Not
how
that
dare
way.
you? Well, we will get there, but I feel like we should talk a little bit more before.
I hope I'm making this up, but didn't that security guard only attack women of color on the stairs?
I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
I'm pretty
sure. It was. Yeah,
racism is alive and well in France. Let's just say that.
Well, the other event of 2024 that Kelly Rowland is known for is storming off of the Today Show. Now there are so many versions of this story. Remember, it was like, the original story was that her dressing room was too small, and so she fled 30 Rock in a huff. Many statements said that wasn't true.
The People's Princess Rita Ora came in to step in for her.
How dare you? How dare you? She has been on the fix list, and no one will even.
I saw her on the list, and I said, "I don't know how to fix that."
Because she's not the people's. She's neither a person nor a princess. Number one,
she isn't,
and she's so like fringy and nichey. Anyway, it's so I don't even know how you get into a meaty discussion about Rita Ora. Like I hear her name, and I
think this is it. Like I don't really know what else you'd say.
Thank you for listening. Good night.
Oh, God. Anyway. All right. We're jumping ahead, though. I feel like I would like to go back and talk a little bit about Destiny's Child before we get to...
Yo, please. Yeah. I have a story about Destiny's Child, too.
Do it.
Go ahead. Tell it.
Okay, so I'll make it quick. So Writing on the Wall was the first album I had growing up. Like, I Destiny's Child is my culture. Like that is formative for me. Like
the fact that the Writing on the Wall CD that my mom had didn't like burst into flames from being played too much in her CD player in her car is a miracle by God.
Yeah, same.
I mean, they were at the time the biggest girl group in the whole world. They were, along with your TLC. I mean, there really wasn't any other. They were the kind of the two biggest ones of the time. Destiny's Child became
Spice Girls went away and Destiny's Child came in essentially. Yeah,
correct. It was post Spice Girls, and it was like the 4, then 3 of them were absolutely juggernauts.
If SWV is listening to this, I apologize that Chris.
I love SWV, but SWV was before them a little bit.
Yeah, that was before them.
I forgot.
It was.
Go ahead.
It was a little before. And then it was TLC. And then Destiny's Child was like the Britney Spears of them.
Yes.
Was Destiny's Child. Was like skyrocketed into fame. MTV in the early 2000s really helped them as well. And obviously now we still have Beyonce as like one of the biggest celebrities of all time and in the world. And named like what? The biggest musical act of the 21st century. Basically, right? Wasn't just named.
Billboard, yeah.
Yep.
So Kelly was always number 2, and then Michelle was always number 3. And like
that rotating position was always number 3 because like LaToya and Latavia were in there, and there were some other clowns going in and out of that car.
There's one that was there for like a couple weeks. Remember?
Yeah, no, like for real. And then like,
kill me.
we don't even know who she was.
Farrah Franklin. That's the other one. LaToya, Latavia, and Farrah Franklin.
Yeah, she's on the cover of Writing on the Wall. She's on the cover of the album, but she's actually not featured. So actually, Michelle is not featured in the album, I believe, on Writing on the Wall. She's just on the cover because she didn't get to record any of it because she was thrown in last minute.
Let's not forget that Kelly was raised by the Knowleses. So she was born in Atlanta.
Yes,
Her mother left her father because he was abusive. And then something happened. It's unclear. But when she was 7 or 8 years old, she ended up living with Matthew and Tina and then got roped into their star-making machine because in the early 90s, Beyonce and Kelly and Latavia, but not LaToya, some other girl named Tamar Davis, were on Star Search with a group called Girls Time. And they did not win Star Search, but Kelly and Beyonce were both on it. And that's what pretty much gave birth to Destiny's Child. But she was always second fiddle because Beyonce was blood. She's a blood Knowles and was obviously the one that Matthew and Tina were pushing towards superstardom.
Well, and also the most talented, obviously.
Well, let's not leave out the
not to, you know, slap, like not to bang Kelly out, but
I mean, we're not, but Kelly's really talented. Like, you know, obviously
100%.
Destiny's Child had so many, they just became a behemoth pretty quickly. By the time Kelly broke away with her own CD, it was in 2002, which isn't too far into the Destiny's Child chronology. But by that point, they were trying to push Beyonce so heavily that I feel like that impacted the success of Simply Deep, which was still a success, but was always overtaken by Beyonce. And it's a great album. Simply Deep is a great album. There are so many good songs on it.
And I remember like watching TRL, and it was when they were like announcing that they were breaking up. And I remember it was like Cater to You. Remember that song, Cater to You? And it was like, they were like, this is our last song. Like, we are done. We love each other. It's just simply because we're done doing this version of what this is. She was like, these are my sisters. Like, I love them forever, blah, blah, blah. And I like remember being like, why are they doing? Like, I was like devastated.
I know. And then Beyonce was like, I'm going to go film Crazy in Love music video. And Kelly said, I'm going to go film Freddy versus Jason. And then, you know, they just went their separate ways.
Yeah, they really just went their separate ways.
And I think everyone thought that Kelly's star would rise higher because like Simply Deep was really good. Then 5 years later, she came out with that other album, Ms. Kelly, which had Like This on it, which was a massive hit. I was doing the warm up at the Tyra Banks show at the time. And whenever we would play Like This beforehand, the crowd would go apeshit. Like they loved Kelly Rowland.
Was Motivation on that or no? Is that later?
No, that's later. That's after that. Yeah. But Like This had a big resurgence on TikTok this year. It was it was a huge trending like sound. I think she got like a gazillion plays for it. Like it was everyone was using it. Like all the kids were using that and So Good off of Writing on the Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On TikTok all the time. They were like, what are these songs? You never heard them before.
I like that, like, that's happening. Do you know what I mean? That it's like these songs that are like these niche songs that like we don't even really listen to anymore that become like these huge hits again.
Completely agree.
Well, let's not forget, by the way, on Simply Deep, like, don't forget that song Dilemma with Nelly was a monster. Like that song in, I guess it was 2002, was an absolute monster.
Never forget the music video where she's on a sidekick and she's texting him through an Excel spreadsheet.
Oh my
God.
Has been brought up to her like this year. And when I tell you, she's like furious about it.
Why?
Like in every interview, because they have been making fun of her about it since it happened. And like she was on Watch Robin's Live, and I think they were like, he said something like, are you texting in an Excel spreadsheet? And she was like, are you really going to fucking ask me that question? Like she was like annoyed like I could tell that she was like not happy.
The most recent, she got asked it right before her and Beyonce went on during the Kamala Harris rally. There's a clip of someone asking her about it then. No. She's like, with Beyonce. Yes.
And she doesn't like it. Like every time that she has to answer now, she's like, oh, you're still making fun of me for this? Like, it's like, which I agree. I'm like, this is annoying. Like, we did it. It's funny. Now we're done.
Well, the funniest part about it too is the way she's just like looking at it like, oh, my baby is so crazy while she's like typing.
It's so crazy. And she's texting to no one. And you know what too? That hair that she had that was that like short, like flip out, like cut. And then it had all like almost not a pixie cut, but it was like pixie-esque with the flip out hair, like textured hair. That she was like the best rocker of that look. Like that was so early 2000s, and like no one did it better than her.
No.
She's one of these people, like, I'm just looking at the wiki page and like there's so much, like in 2009 when she did When Love Takes Over, like that was another a monster.
Incredible.
I feel like if you hear that now, it's still a monster. You run to the dance floor.
It's an amazing song. I think it gets credited as David Guetta more often too because it's his like remix or whatever. But like, I don't think when people heard it, I think there's Gays at Pieces this weekend that it will play.
How dare
and they'll
you?
be like, who is this? I'm positive of it, because I don't
100%.
realize it's Kelly's song.
It's 15 years old, that song.
I know.
We were in college, Tom, whenever that song came out. And that was when that song would come on, we were swinging from the chandeliers. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
I was just fresh out of the closet, ready to live my life.
Yeah. Like those David Guetta, a lot of Titanium with Sia, like all that world. He did one with Jennifer Hudson too that was really good. I can't remember. He did one with Jessie J that was like really like those songs, those dominated.
They were everything.
I mean, she keeps having hits. But it's like she'll have a hit and then we never get the follow-up that's like her becoming like a huge star. Like she has the talent. We hear her sing really well. She has great songs. Again, one of her, in my opinion, like her biggest song outside of Destiny's Child is that I'ma be a motivation. Ooh, nah, nah. Like that song was great.
Definitely certified her biggest hit. And that song is a hit, but I do kind of feel like that song is, I feel like she's bigger with the gays than she is with mainstream media. Like I feel like we all play that song, but I don't think everyone knows that song in her discography, unfortunately, like the gays do.
Yeah, like my mom doesn't know Motivation, whereas like if I put any song on from Writings on the Wall, we know every single word.
Correct. Yeah.
Even like Bugaboo and like Nasty Girl. Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh, Nasty Girl, one of my faves.
What a song. Could never be made today.
No. Slut shaming anthem, Nasty Girl.
yeah, like literally slut shaming anthem. We should play it every episode.
So I met Kelly Rowland. Well, I was the executive producer of the A-List New York, and Kelly is friends with Mike Ruiz, who was our grande dame of the A-List New York, and he did a photo shoot with her. And she was, I don't want to say standoffish, but definitely like not mean, but not like chummy, like, oh, let me take pictures with everybody. Like she was there to do a job. She was there to do the photo shoot. There was a lot of topless stuff happening. And I remember her being concerned that there were a lot of cameras in the room and she was going to be taking her top off to change and to make sure that we had provided adequate space for her to do that, where we guaranteed her that she wouldn't even be mic'd during that process, et cetera, et cetera. It was just one scene and it was a half of a day and it ended up being one scene in the show. So I just needed to say that I've met her and that she was, I mean, lovely, but I don't know anything about her. That was it. She just showed up and did her job.
I don't like that you waited 30 minutes into this recording.
I debated because I have no information to provide other than she was just there. There was no, I got zero indication of what her actual personality was like. So I debated about whether or not it would just sound name droppy, and it has, and I'm pleased with that result. So,
what physically, what were we working with?
Meaning what? Like designs?
Like, did she look good? No, I'm saying, like, did she look good?
Absolutely
did she look
beautiful.
Like,
I remember her having flawless skin. She was a little shorter than I thought. And she was, I believe, scantily clad, as many of Mike Ruiz's subjects are. And we were, we meaning the gay people that worked on this show, did consider her a pop icon. So we were very excited. But again, she was there to work and wasn't giving much more energy beyond that. She seemed very
she was like, I guess I'll be on your like bit little. Yeah.
Yeah. Like protective of herself. Like when Love Takes Over had been a monster hit, particularly, I want to say she performed it on Fire Island that summer. And then we were shooting the year after.
Okay. So what else? I mean, she has her songs, but again, she's basically like relegated to being Beyonce's best friend. Like even when they like reunite at the Super Bowl and come out, like it's a big deal, but it's a big deal because it's Destiny's Child. It's not like Beyonce being like, let me have my best friend like do a solo where she sings one of her songs. It's always like, I'm part of Destiny's Child, so I'm like hitching my wagon to Beyonce. And that's not like from her. It's just like that is the lane that she's in from then on.
Like she's never doing... She did release she's released a couple singles in the pandemic, like in 2020 and 2021, I think, but no EPs or anything. Like I wish she would just like really commit to the music,
Right.
I know that thing is like, we would all go to a concert of hers. Like I would go listen to her sing some stuff and then like sing maybe some old Destiny's Child stuff too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I would go watch her perform. Like we all like her, but again, that's the thing is sometimes we get at these people and we're like, do they want to be famous? Like, do they want to do this? Because she'll put out a single and then nothing else. And it's like, all right, well, we got your song.
She did do that Tyler Perry movie where she like was hooking up with some hot men. So, I mean, maybe she does want to be famous. And the check was probably nice, but.
Yeah.
She does.
Okay.
No one walks that red carpet at Cannes without wanting to be. Like, she wants to be famous for sure. I also should point out a very, very important Kelly Rowland pop culture moment. One of the greatest pieces of video of all time is when Destiny's Child appeared on TRL to sing Lose My Breath. And in the walkout, which is when I tell you that my two best friends and I would sometimes spend an entire weekend day just rewinding that walkout over and over and doing it down my friend Mark's apartment hallway. Like we just kept doing it. Important to note that Kelly was center stage for that. Beyonce was on the side and Kelly was the one leading the way and is by far of the three women doing the most in that walk. Like every vibe you're getting from that walk is because of the way Kelly Rowland is walking. It's not because of Beyonce and Michelle. And dare I say it's one of the most like iconic Destiny's Child moments, that walkout. Beyonce's lapping through it. She's not even taking it seriously. Yeah. And Kelly's like, no, we're giving Blue Steel, we're giving Cunt, and we're not smiling at all. Beyonce, mind yourself. It's good. Yeah. Highly recommend. What did you think I was going to say?
When they were at BET and then Michelle fell down and they just all stood there and looked at it.
That's what I thought you were going to say too. That's what I thought.
Also iconic. Poor Michelle.
And you know what? Kelly also knows how to stick a landing. Never forget when her and Michelle flew out of that stage at the Super Bowl and Michelle's little legs almost flopped off.
Oh, yeah, true.
Poor Michelle. That spawned the poor Michelle movement.
Knees are not.
She didn't even get it.
Yeah. No. Michelle's base is not ready. Like she's like falling down left, right, and center. Yeah.
What savage feedback.
Oh, never forget that like Miss Independent, or no, it wasn't called Miss. What was it called? Independent Woman, Part 1.
Yeah.
The Survivor album. Yeah,
was like the theme song of Charlie's Angels in 2000, which was like a humongous blockbuster movie that I have watched on DVD like 9 million times, and like that song was everywhere. And then Survivor.
Well, I feel like they were so ahead of their time in taking bad press and making money off of it. Like people weren't doing that. Like you know how like reality stars now make a tagline and then on a show and then it's everywhere, right? Like Tina Knowles was like, okay, they all think that no one can survive in this girl group because of drama behind the scenes, all this. Let's just make surviving this industry like our whole personality. And that was like what the Survivor video and song is all about, which is like, so smart. Yeah. Because like it kind of, your name is already on everyone's lips. So why not just like keep it going? And it's like the best clapback. I just think it was such a smart move on their behalf. And the music stands for itself.
Remember the video where they're in that like raft, that life raft, and they're going down like a rapid, what is it? Like a whitewater rafting river, you know? And then Michelle has that one part where she sings at she stands up. She was able to stand up in the life preserver, like whitewater rafting thing.
Yeah, she may have trauma or something. Yeah.
But like the video was great. And then I remember in the Independent Woman video, it was like a big disco, like long, like hall that like never ended, that they were all dancing in. Like they had great videos when music videos were still like a big deal.
So good. Oh my God, that album is so good.
Yeah, it really is. So then we kind of get up to present day. Mm-hmm. And first, again, Dominic, as you said earlier, like she goes to the Today Show and is like, this dressing room is horrific, and like walks out, and it's all over the internet. And then again, you said the People's Princess Rita Ora comes in to save the day, because she was literally standing outside of the Today Show hoping someone would storm off so that she could get some
she got there in 2 seconds.
She got there in 2 seconds. She had Taika Waititi's
been standing
like plane
out there since 2015, though, in fairness, just for this opportunity.
Once, when Iggy Azalea went down in a blaze of glory, she was like, well, who am I going to hitch my wagon to this time? And she's just been out there, hitting the boards until someone finally let her in. But what was the thing? Because P.S., I've been in the green rooms at the Today Show. They are truly closets.
Well, apparently, what I heard, so the day that she was on, J-Lo was on to promote This Is Me Now. It was like it was a dark day on set.
This was it. Okay, this was it. I remember this now.
And so J-Lo had requested, or had already been in her huge ass,
like the big green room
with her whole team. Because apparently, I've heard from multiple sources that J-Lo rolls deep with like a big team of people that she doesn't need, and she was already there in the whole dressing room, and Kelly was a host for the full section of time, and J-Lo was just a guest. But because J-Lo had requested that for her team and everyone, they had given Kelly like the guest dressing room. J-Lo was supposed to get the guest dressing room, but Kelly, who was being a co-host that day, had to get this tiny ass closet.
Right.
But to be fair, one, yes, that's annoying, but it is J-Lo.
Right. I see kind of
what I'm saying?
Sides.
Like, if they're gonna bump you for someone, it's Jennifer Lynn Lopez in the year of our Lord 2024.
I don't know if you're
I think I think it was like her team thought that she was getting this room, and then J-Lo's team took it before she got there. I feel like it was like a miscommunication with like people's
100% J-Lo was like, where's the biggest dressing room? I'm taking that one, and no one was gonna say no to her. That's 1,000,000% what happened. I'm not even doubting that for 1 millisecond.
I just remember Savannah having to go on the air and be like, we love Kelly Rowland. The Today Show loves Kelly Rowland. I'm like, She showed you.
They had to do damage control. Yeah. But I will say, like, I've been there, and like I've packed 17 people in a little teeny closet while Bethany was getting her hair and makeup done. And like I turned around and like looked in like a hair and makeup chair that's just out in the lobby, and Carson Daly is like getting his hair and makeup done to go on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like one of the hosts of the show was just like in like a breezeway getting his hair and makeup done. Right. So it's not like there's like 17 million. He takes
twice as long as J-Lo to get powdered down, from what I understand at this point.
Yeah. But like a host of the show is just like in like an unnamed chair that had no door. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
it's showbiz, baby. You got to roll.
Yeah. Like I will say that it's not like there's like 17 cavernous green rooms that are like their own suites, and then like she was in a closet. Like,
right.
You know?
Also, that's the thing. Like J-Lo would have been there for just 30 minutes. Kelly would have been there for the duration of the show. Kelly probably should have been given a little more respect than J-Lo. All deference to the worldwide superstar that is Jennifer Lopez. But if you're going to be somewhere for one segment, don't bring your whole family and baskets of treats.
No, but she's an asshole. So yeah, of course she had to. Of course she did that. Duh.
Don't bring don't bring a sack of bodega sandwiches. Get out.
And then we get to the Cannes Film Festival, where this woman and Kelly almost get into a fight. And you know, there's that girl that's like a lip reader that will always do the like far away lip readings.
Yeah.
And she's amazing. But that was a big one. That really launched her into like fame because we all were like, what was the altercation? And that girl was like, really gave it to us where she was like, you will not touch me. You will. And we saw Kelly with the finger with her beautiful bob that she had in that dress. And she was like, absolutely, like, do not lay a hand on me. Like, you will not touch me. And that woman like was getting it. Like she couldn't help herself.
You don't touch people like that. Like there's a way to elegantly just be like, okay, we're going this way. But like she was forceful with her. I just don't, you don't.
No, she was like pushing people. And again, that woman came back for more and more and more. She like,
I know.
Yeah, she wanted, but she wanted more. Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, if you're there to be a security guard, what do you think Kelly Rowland is doing at the con club? There are literally 1 billion cameras on her at that moment. What do you think she's got a bomb in her clutch? What are you doing?
Apparently the rule was like, you're not allowed to stop on the stairs to take photos, but it's like every single person is going to want to stop on the stairs to take photos. Right. Why insert that rule that every person is going to want to break that like isn't that big of a deal?
Right.
Right.
It's
the usher has like the vibes of someone who like talks too close and touches too much. And just like, okay.
There was some other woman that had like a big long train on her dress that had like a swan on it or something. And I remember that video of it was like, she was like trying to throw her whole dress out and they all descended on her and were like, absolutely not. And they were like, and the girl, she was like screaming. It was like embarrassing.
Yeah.
At one point she was like, stop, no, like, please. Like she was like freaking out and the people were like manhandling her.
Oh, I remember
like, really
that
bad.
one too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
She wasn't as famous. She wasn't as famous, so she didn't get all the headlines.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So
but Kelly was like,
was it Rita Ora?
It was Rita Ora was like, I should go and walk these steps. Let me get on a quick flight.
She's like, how many other crumbs of Kelly Rowland's can I pick up?
Right.
Like,
is this how I get attention?
Yeah, that was big. That was big whenever she was like getting in the fight with that woman. And that woman then got a platform for like 2 seconds to like, you know what I mean? Everyone was trying to interview her and be like, what happened?
Where
what
is
happened?
she now? You know, it turns out that woman is the mother of the French pole vaulter with the baguette in his pants. Isn't it a small world?
What a small world. What a big world.
What the fuck is with France this year? France.
My God. France. Well, I mean, what else is there I almost feel like we're getting there, Dominic. I don't know if I know what my...
When the biggest Kelly Rowland stories are her getting into repeated
like fights,
altercations with people, when those are the pop culture moments, what have we done with Kelly? Why have we mishandled her in this way? To be honest with you, forgive me because I know a lot of people who work there, but I think she's too big to be co-hosting the third hour of the Today Show, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah, that's like a great get for them. That was like a great get.
For the Today Show, it was great. Yeah, for Kelly, it's that's sort of saying, like,
See, but that's what I'm saying. Do you think she might be trying to parlay into like being a co-host versus like being a musician? Like, I don't think she wants to be a singer. Like, I don't think she wants to be a singer. I think she wants to be a famous person.
Maybe.
Yeah, because like,
you might have just changed my pitch a little bit by saying that.
Do you guys think there's an imminent Destiny Child reunion like in the next 10 years or no?
Yeah.
I want there to be, but like there's not.
Oh, I see. I think
I want there to be one, but I don't think Beyonce wants there to be one.
I don't know.
I think she's down for it in 10 years, like when things have calmed down a bit. I think she's going to take a big break after this Act 3 comes out,
Yeah, I bet after Act 3, the next step would be let's raise kids for a minute and then let's do a reunion. I mean, they're all very supportive. Yeah. Beyonce and Jay-Z went to opening night of Death Becomes Her to see Michelle. So
and so did Kelly. Kelly was there too.
Oh, that's right.
Kelly was there too. They were all like all over each other, and it was like, and even if it's all fake and smoke and mirrors, like they still did it to like look good. You know what I mean?
I don't think
to like
be
a unified front. No, I don't either. I agree. I think that they actually are close. No, my pitch. I was going to pitch her write a memoir, but I'm like, no, it's not. I've done it too many times. That's my on Golden Pond, so I can't.
Right.
And by the way, keep in mind, Kelly's done other stuff. Like she did host that fashion show. Reality show, which may have actually just been called The Fashion Show, but she has some hosting experience on her resume as well.
Calandria Treen Rowland. I want her to be, I don't know if it's a game show. Yeah, it is. I want her to be a game show host. But it is on like Netflix. Like it is on like Amazon Prime on a big streamer. I want her to be the host of either a game show. It's not a talk show. She wants it to be a talk show, but for me, it is like a game show, or like not Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey in Love is Blind, but not that. Like, it doesn't have to be like a game show as in like she's not the host of like Pyramid or like like The Floor is Lava that's on Netflix game show, but like some sort of show that needs a host. Like, I just want her to be the host of that show. We get our eyeballs on her. No, stop the presses. Kelly Rowland needs to be a coach on The Voice. She needs to be a coach on The Voice, and one time she needs to bring Michelle, and then like for one single solitary episode, Beyonce is like the co-host. You know how whenever like they have like their famous friends that are like come in to like help them. One time it's Beyonce, and that's during like Act 3, whenever Beyonce is like exploding and needs because she dropped Cowboy Carter and did zero press for it, and now we're getting her doing Christmas Day, which is going to be an absolute disaster on Netflix's part.
We don't know how to stream it.
Oh, and this is airing after that, so I'm sure I'm saying in the future, as of right now, like it was a disaster. I'm sure it was an unlitigated disaster. Anyway, she needs to be a host on The Voice. Like, she needs to be one of the coaches on The Voice, hitting her button, much like a Jennifer Hudson did. And that kind of reinvigorated her career a little bit and got her in front of like the public again, being like, look at how talented she is. I need that for Kelly. I want her as a coach on The Voice. That is my pitch.
Love it.
So my pitch, this is a development meeting as well as my pitch.
Yeah,
It's a development meeting for my pitch.
Yeah.
Calandria Treen Rowland is in a very unique position when it comes to the history of Destiny's Child, because everyone who's left the band, you wouldn't trust their opinion because they're bitter. Michelle Williams wasn't there long enough. And Beyonce, while being the most talented artist or one of them of all time, she's never going to tell the truth about anything because it's all everything's varnished with her. She doesn't do interviews. And when you see her interviewed, you're like, oh, she also can't do interviews. So it's like, we're never going to get like the full version of anything. So really, Kelly Rowland is the one who would have to serve as the executive producer of the real story of Destiny's Child. She's the only one who could and would actually do it. So I want her to be on Netflix. And I like Chris's idea, honestly, but I feel like no one in the Knowles family can be a part of it, even though technically Kelly is part of that family and she probably wouldn't ever betray them. But she's the one. She's the one who's got to be
Tina would be sinking her little grubby hands into that whole thing.
She will make the con security guard look like a powder puff. Like there's absolutely, she'll kill Kelly on live television. There's no doubt. But that's where I think she's got to like flex a little bit of her muscle because she's done a lot of stuff. And I think her acting as like the executive producer and creative consultant on the miniseries about the making of Destiny's Child and all the shit that went along with it is hers. I mean, I think it's a gift for her because she's the only one I'd believe, to be honest with you. Like, I wouldn't believe it if it came from the Knowles or LaToya or Latavia or, I believe it's Latavia or Michelle Williams. I think Kelly is the person who's going to introduce DC to the next generation. And it is her historical responsibility to present their story to the world. As executive producer, creative consultant, she'll probably get a writing credit, just like Beyonce always does. And that's my pitch. That was a slam, and that is my pitch.
Easy on the Bay hate.
I love her. I love her.
Until the end. I was with you until the end.
She's not a songwriter. What?
Wait, so now I pick, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, did I just ruin my chances by publicly saying Beyonce did not write half of the things that she's given songwriting credit for?
That's what I'm telling you. You did. You're talking to your judge here, and you just.
Well, there's no actual prize. What I meant was Beyonce, the most literate of all superstars. Joking. Let's be honest.
Another slam, Dominic. You got another slam in.
Dear God in heaven. He wants to lose. He's asking for it.
So here's my feedback. Chris, I really did enjoy your pitch. My only issue with the pitch is the voice. There's something about the voice that bothers me. I don't know why. The voice. I want better for her, I think. And it feels like she's not going to create her own thing. So that's why I'm going to go with Dominic, because it's like something that she gets to create that's hers, you know?
No, Dominick is the winner. Dominick should be I would pick Dominick.
Okay, great.
That is the memoir without it being a memoir. And that's a vehicle for like 3 young, like plucky upstart actors to like become like superstars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the 3 of them, especially, that is a vehicle where they could then become like almost like the Queen's Gambit for what's her name? Anna, what is her name?
Joy.
And Anya Taylor-Joy or whatever. Yeah. Like she, like, you know, we all like, she became a household name overnight because of that show. It's like, this could be that for like 3 people as the 3 of them.
You know what I see in the second to last episode? In a shock, we find out that Solange has participated. Or if it's doc style, we just see her sitting in the director's seat and then we fade to black for the finale. It's like, now what's going to happen?
I love
and then we see an elevator open up and then that orange dress come through. Like, yeah.
Kelly can get the real story from Solange about what happened in that elevator.
Kelly can get the dueling elongated texts that we so desperately want about what. Remember that, Dominick?
Oh, absolutely. You know, well, she has everything. She has all the secrets and that little blunt bob. She's always right.
Yeah.
She carries all the secrets.
If only. I know, right?
Well, I will graciously, or as graciously as I can, accept this win. And you have my thanks, Tom, very much.
Dominick, beautiful win. Beautiful win. Beautiful win.
Thank you, Christopher.
Oh, Tom. Thank you for being here. Thank you for beating up on Rita Ora with us.
Of course.
Thank you for, all of this craziness that just happened. Please tell everyone where they can find you and where they can listen to your podcasts.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was a blast. You can follow me at the Tom Hamlett on Instagram. And then my 2 podcasts, I have Good Judys, a podcast about just pop culture, friendship, and gay shit. And then a podcast for our reality TV fans. And that is called Dumpster Dive. So check both of them out and rate this podcast and those podcasts 5 stars.
5 stars only. Tom, I feel like Dominick and I are destined to come on Good Judys. I feel like that's...
Yeah, please. Oh my God, we would love to have you both.
Yeah. Dominick, where can people find you?
Oh, the website's dominterry.com and the socials are at Dominick Pupa, or just find me through the Fixing Famous People Instagram page. Christopher, where can the listeners of our podcast find you on the World Wide Web?
They can find me at the Chris DeRosa. They can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and they can find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. And of course, the a la carte episodes every Friday, either on the $5 Patreon or on Apple subscriptions. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.